Shut the fuck up, man. Welcome, friend or foe family, back for week 4, day 2. Small graphical error on my part. What an idiot, just kidding. And today I'm joined by Erebus. Welcome, Erebus. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling fantastic. Very surprised they paired us together as I'm not allowed to say a lot of very fun things anymore. However, I am excited about this draft. I think Fat Pikachu's super fun to watch, and I cannot wait. I do not like Rel. Rel's strong, though. That's a really good pick.
I couldn't agree more. Since Relics came back, I've been sad. I've just been avoiding playing bot lane. I'm just kind of done with it altogether. But, Emilio seems like a pretty solid. He's doing just great in the meta right now, too. So a lot of good options coming out for supports right off the bat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hate Rel. I really do. Rel's really strong. Emilio's really strong. Rel is just frustrating. I'd like to see a Misfortune grab. That'd be awesome. Rel Misfortune. Misfortune's super strong right now. Rel Ash would be great. Emilio, we'll see. Boring. Alright, boring. Do something cool.
Yeah. I mean, Storm Blessy, he's just been a soldier just playing, I think, Orin so many times. I'm not sure the count for the season, but I think it was close to, I don't know, all but 2 games last season. So Orin's is kind of tried and true. He gets to play around the team, gets to be part of it, gets to just be that stable top laner that Pikachu have come to know and love. Fortunately, with that, Misfortune not going to be the pickup. It is going to be Kaisa. I think we are on the point now where Static Shiv is nerfed, so a little less of that happening, kind of better for the game in my opinion as well. And Fiora would be a pretty spicy pickup, I think, as well.
Kaisa's fine. I don't know. I think Misfortune and Ash are in a much better position, and they go better with Rel. Kaisa, even with the Static Shiv nerf, is really strong. I would just put her below those two. Kog'Maw, don't pick Kog'Maw. Fiora is fun, though. I think she's in a really strong spot at the moment, and it gives a little kill pressure into Orin, not a ton, but a little more maneuverable.
True. And we got Jinx coming through. Solid selection, I think. It's going to do great with Milio. Really going to work with Orin. So it seems like we're doing some type of scaling team fight, classic Fat Pikachu kind of thing, to get kind of the champions they're pretty comfortable with here that we've seen them play plenty of times. So it's looking pretty good over for Sandubu doing his thing as the draft coach. So excellent job as usual. Giving the coaches a shout out when we can. Malachi taking off the table. He's pretty good. Not sure what they're worried about with the Lux. Jakung's played a lot of things, so I think he's got a lot of good options still left here on the table for him to pick.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'd like to see mid lane. I guess Anivia is boring, but it would fit the scaling comp. That'd be fun. Syndra's in a really good spot, and I know Jakunk is nuts on Syndra. I'm worried about the bot lane of Jinx Milio early for the first 15 minutes of the game. I think if they play fine, it'll be fine. But they definitely have less impact around certain objectives.
Yeah, I think that's true. Vex, I think we've seen a little bit of that come around. Kha'Zix, Jenny Train, seems good. I think if Kha'Zix got a little bit stronger in the meta, just from the overall kind of standpoint. So I think Kha'Zix is in a good spot. I'm kind of liking what I see there. If we're looking at Azure Gaming, we don't really seem to have a tank. We don't seem to have much of a line. So we're kind of curious what their thought process is kind of going forward with this. So I think Rek'Sai could be a lot of fun if they're trying to play this pick style and throw Fat Pikachu off their style like that.
Yeah, I love Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is my favorite jungler. I was a Kha'Zix 2-trick for a while, and he's in a great spot right now, like you said. Vi is in a good spot in a different manner. I'd say she's definitely weaker in a technical sense, but she has the ability to set up plays pretty well. And then Vigar is just good. I mean, I think it's a good pick into a relatively large scaling composition. You can go Crown if you need to. I just don't really know what their team comp's looking to accomplish. They have a lot of engage, but at the same time, they don't necessarily have DPS.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assumption. Kind of for that reason, Uari, I don't know if we've seen Jakun play that yet, but it seems to be pretty in his wheelhouse. He seems to be mechanically talented, so setting up a lot of good things for his team. In my assessment of this draft, I think I'm going to give the edge to Fat Pikachu. They kind of got their comfort picks, kind of the style they like to play. So I think that they're sitting pretty for this game.
Yeah, I agree. Ari's broken right now, so that's going to be really nice. Assure Gaming, just unless Kaisa or Fiora get very, very far ahead, they are not going to be able to win a team fight after 22 minutes. So we'll see. But there's always the chance that one of those two gets super far ahead.
Definitely, I'm looking excited to see how they play when we shake up and move on to the Rift. But, a small little fun fact about the cast today. Both Erebus and I share the same name, so you're We're getting the Ryan Squared Vision cast coming at you live today. So
My
I'm
name's
excited.
Brian.
You don't lie to us people out here, okay? We're all a family, and we don't do that to each other.
I'm sorry for lying to you guys. I won't do it again. I might. I might. We'll see. Standard start. Nothing too crazy as it is 26 seconds in the game. But let's see. Anybody do weird runes? Vigar without first strike is kind of. It's fine. Never mind. I don't care. It's fine.
It's not your game. You can't hit it. It's fine. Okay, so like you said, kind of standard on that side. As far as graphics, I do want to let broadcaster know that Julian behind the scenes has gone ahead and fixed that game overlay situation. If you want to update that, whenever you can. But let's kind of assess what the early game's going to look like. What are we thinking the pathing's like? I think any train can kind of take time if he wants, but I think Vi is going that pretty quick, right?
Kha'Zix clears quickly enough. Vi definitely clears at about a similar speed, maybe a little bit healthier. The thing is, Vi's gonna have gank potential. Kha'Zix's main goal is to farm to 6. A lot of people don't necessarily consider Kha'Zix to be kind of a heavy farming champion because he's an assassin, but he excels significantly when he's able to farm his camps and kind of hit item spikes faster than other junglers. So I'd like to see any train just ignore his lanes almost entirely unless there's a free kill, farm up a ton, get to 6, and start impacting the map that way. Lindblom is going to have probably the most success looking towards mid lane if they burn flash, or bot lane in general for the first portion of the game.
I think that's a pretty solid assessment. So thanks for your insight on that. We're gonna see if you're right. But yeah, pretty standard. Nothing too exciting here. Raptor just kind of moving around the river, trying to see what they can do. Jinx opting into the cold start. I think that means that they're going to want to try and take this lane as slow as they can. Kind of talk about what you said there with just kind of taking some free damage there. Maybe not the best trade without his support to follow up, but
yeah, whoopsies. You can't walk into range of Kai'Sa with Halo Blades for a while when you are a champion like Jinx, just because you do not have the ability to return the damage. Even with 3 autos and a melee auto attack, you're not going to return the damage. So just got to watch for the accident, try to either bait it out and then force a trade, or just back up when it's up.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And when we look at ASG as a team, they are the underdogs currently in the situation, but they are sitting at 3-4, so they haven't lost every game. They haven't won any game. They're kind of still in the middle, finding their footing as a team, and being new to the season, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. With kind of coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's always fun to see. I mean, there's a lot of new teams this season, but a lot of just similar players on different kind of variations. So it is very cool to see newer, entirely new teams find a level of success. And plus, it's the first half of the season; it doesn't even count. You get your stuff together, you can change it up. They could end up going 104, even. Depending on how long the season goes.
I was gonna say, depending on how long the season goes, we're not set up to play 104 games. Thankfully for Brendan, I think he'd lose his sanity by that point, which I know you're a fan of, but not all of us are on the chaos train that you're going for.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. What do you mean? Set that up.
We do appreciate the staff members, all their hard work behind the scenes, of course, to make this show happen. This is gonna be kind of a slow game. We do have Raptor kind of come over here messing with Lindblom, and I think Lindblom was still able to get the scuttle, so they're trading pretty even on their full clears, just kind of hanging out.
There's really just not a ton that can happen unless one of the mid laners stuns the other mid laner and forces a flash. I mean, Fiora can just kind of walk away until level 6, Ornn can just do the same. If Rel gets a good engage bot, Jinx's flash and ghost are down, so I'd say it's probably the most gankable lane. Vi's already down there, yes, and there's no wards, so if she can get around, it'd be very, very good. Don't back, there's no vision.
Not quite fully aware of that. We do have Kha'Zix making his way up here onto Potato Fries, so that could be something as well. And also Vi's opting to stay. Raptor was seen walking into the river. Is going to get spotted out. Does have the flash if he needs it, but I think he's going to be okay. Nothing too crazy.
Fiora had to flash out. Kha'Zix got some damage down, got his first strike off, and it looks like Ornn landed a stun. So overall, good use of the time. And I like the invade a lot. Vi is backing. He's going to be able to get... If he went Wolves, he can get Wolves and Gromp. I think he's only going to have time. Oh, Vi canceled the back. Never mind. Yep. Good job.
Rel's going to be forcing Raptor taking very low, ticking away, and Rel is going to come with the first blood. Vi is gonna hang out and just kind of hang out with the wave, I guess. But I guess it's a good play on the side on the bot lane of ASG, getting the pacing going.
Uh, Big waste of time from Vi. Unfortunately, uh, just reset honestly, and then go Krugs Raptors, and then try to do something else. But Rel and Kai'Sa are a lot stronger than Jinx and Milio for a very long time, so you have to be very aware of that. And I mean, just look at the CS difference. If you're not overly careful in the beginning, you're zoned off entirely until your summoners are back up.
That is true. Blackpink Trash Raptor have found a lot of success, so this could be a chance for them to prove themselves in a not so great situation. Kenny Train here on the repeat gank and knows the ward. As it's going to get spotted out, the Ornn ult is going to come through. Fire Dash is taking a lot of damage back onto Kenny Train, who jumps over and ult's used, and no kill happens on the side of Fat Pikachu this time.
A little weird. Probably just reset after you take Vi's bot side. You haven't chopped yet, and your entire jungle's entirely up. So your timings would have been a little bit better. Minor critique, he got the first strike gold. That was a very good cage from Vigar as well, who's controlling the lane pretty effectively, just because Ahri does have kill pressure at level 6 if you land enough Qs.
Yeah, pretty good trade back and forth. A small CS lead starting to accumulate in the mid lane for Jakunk. However, despite all the damage being traded up here, Stormblast, he seems to be sitting 20 CS over Fiora, so if he continues on that trend, he could definitely find himself a good foot to stay in this game. Because it seems like overall the trading with Fiora and Ornn seems to be having a pretty rough time.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see a CS difference, honestly. I mean, Kha'Zix has been up there twice, right? And Flash got burnt, so you have to play a little more conservatively, but very good jungle influence. And then Ornn's been CSing pretty well as well, almost close to ideal, missing a few, but good job overall. And he's built the fun item, so Fiora won't really do a ton for a while anymore.
Drew a little bit of fancy feet in the mid lane from Jakunk, trying to avoid as much damage trade back as they can. Vi went ahead, moved on to Scuttle, and Raptor was right there to mess with him a little bit. However, I see some pings coming around the Dragon Pit. Could be a move as bot lane is rotating over towards that direction. Damage traded back here in the mid, back and forth. But again, just kind of poking each other, not able to quite commit to anything too strong. And I don't see a response from Fat Pikachu. So first Dragon of the game should be going over to ASG, no problem.
Yeah, they should get the first two for free, essentially. Maybe the third. They did the first one pretty fast. There's just not a way for Fat Pikachu to realistically win. Ooh, let's see.
In the cage, taking a punch from Vi, is going to get charmed out, traded damage. Kenny Train is here, jumps in, forces the flash from Capo, and both jungles and mid lanes are backing off.
Ahri. Okay, I was wondering. I already didn't ult. Ahri would have just died to Vigar's ult. Makes sense. Junglers being junglers. That was a good gank. Ahri held flash, which is impressive. I would have probably flashed for sure. Maybe ulted. Vi's a little scary. Was level 5 though. Kha'Zix is taking a lot of Vi's camps pretty effectively.
It's true. Is going to get spotted. Sees that Kenny Train's taking the blue this time. Is looking for a fight. Fiora could come down for this. I think Kenny Train's kind of realizing that, so is going to go actually just all the way around. Is he just going to... Yeah, he's going to try and force this fight. He wants blood. And we missed a little something in the mid lane, so we're going to back up here real quick. Alt's in. Doesn't quite hit it. Flashes out. Gets the charm. And then actually gets the outplay button pushed. All
happens.
Right.
Happens. Everybody gets a free one.
So like we were saying, Kha'Zix coming up here. Fiora is already in the brush. Gets here. Goes for the jump. Hits a good amount of damage. Forces the punch away. And Vi is probably going to be forced to back here.
I'd be so mad. Like, Gromp's almost done. Kha'Zix jumps out, almost kills me, takes it. Like, guys, not even your teammates' fault. Just like, guys, can you just help me?
That's right. We did talk about trying to get that 6 for Kha'Zix, but I think he just opted into the warpath instead and said, no, there are no lanes here. There's only jungle for me to take from Vi, and if she gets in my way, I'll take the kill as well.
It's really smart. I mean, like, again, there aren't a ton of lanes with kill pressure aside from top, honestly. Mid lane's flashes down, so you can look at mid for a little bit. Bot lane, you probably get 3v2'd. So just invading Vi when you can on the top side with mild prio is a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, I agree too. You know, with that as soon as Vi's punch kind of goes down, a little bit of a sitting duck while that cooldowns there. So I think the timing on that is well paced for them. So good to see that happening. Bot lane kind of moving back down here. Blackpink could be a little far forward. P1 flip comes forward and is going to go be forcing it onto Raptor and pops like a balloon, picking up another kill for the Kai'Sa.
Lane's rough. Not much else to say. Can't be there. You know, you already. I mean, you're down 40 CS, so you're frustrated. But like, that doesn't change the fact that you cannot really
When blue
be
null is
around.
happening, bots
Uh-oh.
rotating, blues take it very low, and it causes forced to jump away. Doesn't seem like there's any kind of follow up. So
Well, I got it. They should have. Yeah, they should have ulted him. We'll see how this goes. If they engage, they kill Kha'Zix and
the
Ari.
wall, taking a lot of damage, and is forced to alt, and is going to be popped right away. Alt goes ahead and buys alt onto the Ari. Flash forward is going to force a lot of damage. Ignite taken away, but I think Chakunk will live just fine. Members of Fat Pikachu's bot lane are here. The trading continues, and Raptor is killed once again as soon as he gets back to lane. And that's 4 members of ASG walking through the jungle, and Blackpink Trash just left there with nothing to do.
Yeah. I guess ASG's playing early game really well. They know that they have the best chance of winning by snowballing early, and they're doing that fantastically. I mean, the lanes that need to be ahead are ahead. Well, one of the lanes that needs to be ahead is ahead. Fiora is surviving, hasn't died yet. Kha'Zix has an unfortunate scoreline at this point in the game with a Vi that is 2-0. Vigar is going to be going Everfrost, so it'll be pretty healthy. Ari went Everfrost, so you have a little less damage, and Jinx is just suffering.
Yeah, I agree. The Cole is slowly ticking away as they've taken a massive hit to their CS2, almost double CS coming out on the side of Kaisa, 96 to 49, is putting almost an extra 2,000 gold over the lane opponent. So really just feeling the hurt in that lane right now.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's just that feels bad. Like, but it's hard. It's hard to describe the situation when you're like, I literally can't even go get that CS, and they just kind of like freeze it on you. Feels rough.
That's true. These junglers do seem to intent
They
on
shouldn't be
fighting every
pushing.
turn.
Don't push bot lane. Because they're gonna get frozen again. Let's see how this goes.
3 members of ASG here are going to start the fight on the Kenny Train. Kenny Train is forced to jump away, and I think ASG are also going to go ahead and secure themselves the Rift Herald. Looking at the lane states, where do you think that's going to go next?
I'd probably throw a top lane. You have bot lane up there. Either that, or I would wait until maybe 15 seconds before Dragon. Pop it on Dragon and just run to Dragon and let it get some mid plates.
Yeah, both of them sound like some pretty solid options. Rel kind of sticking around. Vi's going to back, be able to put some gold in the pocket before we get to this dragon fight. If you're Fat Pikachu, do you think they should be fighting for this one or giving this one up?
You 100% give it up. You just don't have the. I mean, Jinx has a recurve bow and 2 long swords. Ari has the utility part of Ari's build finished. Kha'Zix, I think, is almost on the line item. You just don't win. Like, this is what happens.
It's crazy. I think Blackpink Trash is trying to do something a little spicy, but forces the ultimate, and Blackpink Trash is picked up. Raptor is stuck here with no real way out. Vagar Cage is going to go and stop him and pick it up with the ultimate as well. That's the members of Fat Pikachu dead. And with that, 4 members of ASG, or actually 5, because Fiora's down here now. Can rotate to Dragon, put some pressure on the bot. Just kidding, teleport to the top.
Yeah, it's getting progressively rougher for the Fat Pikachu. There's no reason to even really. I mean, I guess getting wards is fine, but you know they're doing Dragon. What are you gonna need to ward for? Just don't push bot lane. Ward the try for the dive. Don't get caught. And now they're gonna lose if they like 2 plates. Get pressured for a third. Kha'Zix is stuck there. Things are not looking fantastic at the moment for them, and it's going to be a little rough road to scaling. They're not going to be scaled enough to get the 3rd dragon, and they might barely be there for the 4th dragon if they like play very, very well for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point. And when we look at everything, we kind of predicted, that ASG was going to have a strong early game, so it's really up to them to keep this tempo going to close it out and make Fat Pikachu lose a game here today and make them drop to 2nd place, which would be quite the interesting narrative if you ask me here. And I think a lot of that is actually on the side of Lindblom, with all that pressure from Kha'Zix, not fighting a death and being able to stay in the game and then pick up that play and bot, really just impressive.
Yeah, and good play from Fiora, not dying twice on repeat ganks down a flash. Would be a little frustrating, and was definitely down CS, but has survived entirely so far. Ornn is definitely a little bit stronger, but you have pretty good tools to deal with Ornn at the moment. And there's not a lot of tools on Fat Pikachu's side that do very well when they're behind. Their entire team comp is mostly relying on Ornn ult or an Ari charm to be able to initiate and kind of extend a fight. And they do not have the ability in terms of stats to extend the fight long enough to win right now.
That is true. But if they were to do that, what is the way back in? How do they, you know, you say I think earlier you were talking about giving up the third dragon, starting to contest around fourth. Is that the play? What kind of success do they have to find in this team?
I mean, they're gonna have to get the third dragon unless they just catch people out of position. Like Kha'Zix right here gets on Kaiser. Kaiser misplays it. It could be really good.
Fortnite coming through Kenny Train is taken low, but the Duskblade lets him stay around. Happy ending is dropped, but members are here to follow up. A lot of damage coming through by Ultimate finding its way onto Storm Blessy, Jakunk ulting away, and members are chasing. A lot of damage still being traded. Vi has the punch, but it's going to go ahead and disengage. So that is going to be one kill in favor of that Pikachu, actually.
Yeah, when everything lands, it's fine, right? So they gotta do that on the dragon and have somebody caught out. If the entire team is there, it probably doesn't work, to be honest, at like the current point of the game. But they find two people alone, they are able to kind of make that play ahead of time. They got to keep doing that essentially until they are in a position where they can just more effectively 5v5, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, the gap of CS is kind of staying the same in the bottom lane. The coal is almost complete, so that investment is almost paid off. And Jinx should be getting the first item here relatively soon. Pushing a lot of pressure. Okay, Raptor is going to go ahead and go back to tower. I thought they were going to push that pretty hard, but it's okay. Raptor, you're doing your best, buddy.
He really is. He should not be where he is.
That's right.
Rail probably shouldn't be right there either, actually.
Exhaust comes forward and it's going to follow him over the wall. Is slowly making his way. Blackpink's over here. However, he just kind of walks. Charm comes through, forces the flash. Rocket misses, forces the flash from Kenny to pick up the kill to make sure Rel doesn't get out this time.
Little miscommunication, I believe, on Ashura Gaming side. It seemed like Rel had the intent to go in with Vi, and Vi kind of backed off at the same time Rel initiated. So good catch. A lot of flashes burnt on the Rel. I picked up on Kha'Zix, which is always very nice for Kha'Zix. So Kha'Zix, this game is going to have a little bit of a rough time just because Vi and Veigar are annoying. So is Rel. If he's able to get on Kai'Sa after an ult or able to chunk down kind of Fiora, I guess on the side, it'd be good. It's going to be a very awkward team fight for Kha'Zix, though.
Yeah, it's going to have to be very creative with the angles he comes through. He's going to go ahead and put some pressure down on this top lane, which seems pretty much untouched for Potato Fries. Hopefully they can get some damage down the turret, be able to threaten something here soon. Dragon is up in 40 seconds, and the way we talk about, miscommunication sometimes between teammates reminds me of my days back in SKL. Terrible times,
Who?
That's right.
Never heard of him. Anyways.
Okay.
All right, big fight. Key ultimates are up. Flashes are not up. Let's see. If Fiora doesn't come down, Fat Pikachu can win it with a good Horn Engage.
That is true. Seeker fighting its way into Ari. Members are kind of in this weird offset if they tried something. Fi is going to get the punch. Going to start the fight up. Storm Blessing, maybe? Alright, not taking the bait. Cage is used pretty early. This could be a good time to try and come through if they wanted to.
Jinx is in a terrible spot right now. Oh, that's not good.
Jinx taking the long way around. Punch.
Jinx is CSing.
Jakunk is trying to fight its way onto handicap to try and pick up something here. Fiora is teleporting in the middle. Rel Ultimate is locking up. Kenny Train is down. Raptor in the back taking low as well. Storm Blessy is down for 3. Members are scattered. Jakunk going back to the tower. And Blackpink got some CS out of it. That's pretty good.
That's really grief for someone. Either someone didn't make the call, or everyone else ignored the call. That is very
handy. Capo is putting Jakunk in a weird spot. Dodges the first one, but is not able to follow the rest. And is going to be taken down. Handy Capo picking up another kill into Jakunk.
That team fight was the exact, literal worst possible thing they could have played it like that, which is surprising because Fat Pikachu is usually a very coordinated team. I think there just had to have been a very large miscommunication on what to do in the river. If you miss the Ornal, just back off and give the dragon. Very good play out of Azure Gaming to continue just kind of foot on the gas. I mean, they're up 5k. They've gotten every objective, and they haven't really died. Like, there's 2 deaths in 20 minutes.
That is true. That is true, And when I think about the reasoning for what could happen, like you said, Fat Pikachu, they're pretty coordinated. Behind the scenes, there was the match yesterday, Fat Pikachu versus Yubi. I think they got a little excited. They're feeling a little comfortable. Sounds like there was some drinking involved. They might still be hungover. Not totally certain, but it's a potential,
Every now and then you got to have one of those games where you just get it out. You know, like we've been playing too good. Let's go ahead and ego check ourselves. I
That's
mean,
right.
they can still win. Like the gold gap's only 6,000. Like it's big at 20 minutes, but I mean, I've seen weirder things, right? Like it's not technically done. They have an entry into this game if they can farm for another 20 minutes.
That is a good point. We have seen a lot of weirder things. We have seen teams do really well, and then when it comes to closing in games out, they look like middle school, boys at dances where they're like, "What do I do with my hands?" So like,
Yeah, Team
we.
Wash.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I remember a certain playoffs last season. But
Every season, man. What do you mean?
every season, it's
Most hype team get fourth place. We sucked.
you know, you did your best, and that's
That's
all that
not
matters
even.
to some
No,
people.
ain't no way that's true. But
Ain't no way in the
however,
shot.
Vigar is pretty big. I love going Death Cap second on Vigar. It works really well into the entirety of the enemy team aside from Ornn, but you don't really care anyways.
Had be
Uh,
capable of ulting forward very aggressively. Rap Terrier taking away and low makes all the way back to Tower. Kenny Train forced to flash away. Members are taken very low, and ASG, if they wanted to, could put a little pressure on Baron.
yeah, they should just go to Baron. You're right.
Yeah, Jakung kind of playing the vision game as much as they can. Gonna get spotted out as they start up the Baron here. Blackpink's gonna rotate over. Kenny Train has healed up, making his way, so it's a matter of DPS. But Handy Capable is burning it pretty quick. Jakunk is looking for a flashy play. If he wants to highlight reel, this is it right here. And Rocket comes late, and ASG pick up their Baron.
Good call. I think I've said this both times I've casted, but when you're ahead, you do Baron. At the worst, they come and fight you. Like not like when you're like 1K ahead. When you're like this far ahead, the best way to oh my
Oh,
god,
Rap Terror was deleted and sent back to the Shadow Realm in his base for another gray screen.
ew, what the heck? Poor,
There's just something about Vagar where you're just like, I
why
thought it
even
was
why
okay.
even do that to somebody? That was mean.
Uh, That's right.
Oof.
They should probably file a complaint against Andy Capel for that one. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. This one's nullified. That was too much damage.
Cyberbullying. All right. Damage traded back on Stormblessy here. Tower is taken low in the mid here. Jakunk forced to flash away. Kenny Train going forward to try and find something. I don't think it will be much, but forced back in on Jakunk. Happy ending. Aggressively calling forward again. And with that, members are kind of just playing back. Stormblessy does re-engage with his ult here. The cage coming through, forcing us into an uncomfortable position. But in the backline, Blackpink was taken out by the Dark Matter. And members of Fact Future are sent back to their tower.
Yeah. I mean, Vigar's just a big boy at the moment. Kaiser's very strong. Vigar, nobody has any magic resist.
Stormblessy is taken low. Rift Herald is summoned. First tower down. It's going to be charging on the second. They're looking to close the game out. Ultimate coming through, and Kenny Train forced to flash away, but is going to go ahead and meet his death. Members are running back to the fountain, and that is going to be the game over to ASG.
Sheesh, they got the Shelly end with the crazy dance. Vigar popped off. The bot lane played perfectly. They got way farther ahead than they should have been able to, and they capitalized on that. But like, you're all like 2,000 health champions with no magic resist, and Vigar has like 800,000 AP at 20 minutes. It's hard to win. Very good out of Azure Gaming.
Yeah, again, as the team that was coming in, like we said, right in the middle, they're now going to put their score at 4-4, taking a game off one of the top teams and forcing Fat Pikachu into second place and Art of War into first. And we're almost halfway through. We'll have Monday and Tuesday next week for the first half of the split. And that's going to be a pretty good mid-season point for us to know a Super Week coming up after that. So with that, I'm really excited to see how ASG perform next week and going forward. But other than that, Erebus, you have any more closing thoughts?
Super clean game from Azure Gaming. I don't know, not much else to say. Good job. A+.
A+ indeed. Gold stars from the Ryan Squared Double Vision cast. All right, and with that, we're going to find out who the interview is shortly. I'm not sure who at this moment, but we'll be right back with that interview, and then we're looking forward to game 2. Don't touch that browser.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the interview desk. I am your friendly neighborhood shotcaster Shargan. I've got Handy Capo joining us on the interview desk with Asura Gaming. Fantastic performance, my friend. That went very, very well.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
Yeah.
I thought we would have more trouble against the team, but I guess there's good days for all of us.
So, what did you guys do to prepare for this game going in?
We talked more about draft, like what is our idea going into the game. We really wanted to have like a split comp with Fiora, because like our view is that we're not gonna win a front to back team fight like in the mid game. So like with our comp, so we just wanted Fiora to split, and Fiora was our win con in that game.
Is that partially why you ended up taking Electrocute on Vagar instead of Futures Market, which I know seems to be a little bit more popular of a choice?
Not really. I think I like Electrocute a lot better. More damage early game, mid game. I know you don't really focus on Vagar early game, but in the mid game, it's a lot of damage, and then also in the late game, I think it's like the most like burst you can have. So yeah, that was just my goal. More burst, like playing more towards our mid game.
Very understandable. And is that probably around that mid-game point is where you all realized that the game was yours? Was there a particular team fight or a play or a moment that you just realized, wait a minute, this game is going our way, we got this?
As soon as we started getting all the objectives and like kept always like perma pushing them off, like I just knew it was over. And then also when I just like RQ'd the Emilio and he just died, I knew like this game's done.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Raptor under the supposed safety of the tower.
Can't escape from Vagar, that's all I can say.
No, you really can't. He's got if you're taller than him, he's definitely gunning for you.
Yeah, I got Rabadon at like, I don't know how many minutes, but I had like 600 AP. That's how I knew it was over. Like, unless we do a massive throw, which it could have happened, but unfortunately it didn't. Well, if only we threw, then that was like the only way they could have won.
Yeah, and speaking of over, that is the second game Fat Pikachu has lost, which leads us into the next game. We've got Oversoul Gaming versus INT coming up. Do you have any thoughts or predictions based on your experience so far?
I think, you know, looking at the standing, I don't know the teams that well, but it looks like Oversoul has a way better like history than INT. But I do like upsets, so I'm hoping INT does end up winning out.
INT is the underdog in this game going in. That's an interesting take, just with how strong they've been in previous seasons. But I love it. So you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Handy Capo, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, folks, stick around. We will be right back. Don't go away. We've got Oversoul Gaming coming up versus In the Trees. It's going to be an exciting matchup. It will be really, really good to go. So stick around. We will be right back.